Hi Jill, how are you? Welcome to Talent Talkies.
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
For our viewers, Jill is joining us from southern Spain, and she's basically a graphic designer and also a fashion designer. So she works in both fields. She is a big advocate for women's rights, and she is also working for women and girls, mentoring them time and again. Jill, do you want to add something to that about yourself?
So I will soon be mentoring for World Pulse for the Future Changemaker program. So I'll be combining that passion of mentoring women, but also I'll be hopefully helping them with branding as well. So I'll be mentoring them with that, but also I'm starting an NGO for combining fashion with compassion. So that is a social enterprise.
Jill is starting an NGO called Liluye, and she's going to work on sustainability, if I understand correctly, Jill?
Yeah, it will be to combine fashion with compassion and reintegrating trafficked women globally to help them reintegrate back into society, because it would be giving them a viable trade and income selling sustainable products online through Liluye, which would be the social enterprise. And I also hope to be integrating mentoring in there as well, because I envision eventually a holistic approach to helping them reintegrate, which includes the mentoring and healing mental aspect as well.
So I think we will talk about a little bit about your journey, and then we will take it further.
Okay. So as far as my journey is concerned, I would say I always had a passion and interest in art and design and fashion from early on. And I didn't really pursue that the first degree that I had. I decided my family didn't encourage me very much, and I think society doesn't encourage like the arts in general. And so I got my liberal arts degree, and I got out and I was an executive assistant for 5 years, but didn't like it. Did not resonate for me. Very good at it, but it was a lot of high stress and a lot of clicking with women, and I didn't like that. And so I was thinking when I left my first degree that I would always go back and pursue another degree. And I thought at the time, well, I want to do IT because I was good at it, or social work because I really like helping women and wanted to make a difference at that point, or graphic design, which of course I went for graphic design because that passion at that time was the highest calling, the biggest allure for me at that time. And so I went back to school for graphic design. And I'm very multi-passionate, so I also have a passion for fashion. And so that really came back as was trying to get in to fashion. And finally I created a job for a little headwear company that was pretty close to my home. But I saw an opening, but they were kind of like dragging their feet on it. And I kind of thought, well, I'm going to go in there and, show my portfolio. And I got the job. It really, for about a month, it was unpaid, but I didn't really care. I got my foot in the door, and I was golden for 4 years. It was really inspiring, and I could do a lot of things there because I was still using organizational capabilities, prioritizing, but also was able to create some headwear and also do catalogs. So I was doing a whole bunch of things that were bringing a lot of my skills together. So that was exciting. And then my husband got laid off, and we had been thinking about moving someday somewhere else. So we decided to, because he's British, so we decided to move to Spain because it was kind of not in England because it's too cold, but still in Europe. And so that's been nice to be closer to his family, but also to be somewhere a little bit warmer, and also so we could enjoy ourselves more and not be in the rat race and working 9 to 5 or more, and just not enjoying our lives. So we really came here, and I really was okay, I want to make a difference. I want to go back to that. It was really, I felt that calling and that pressure to fulfill my purpose, which is to help as many women and girls worldwide, where Liluye then comes in. And I started working or volunteering online for World Pulse 3.5 years ago, the end of 2016. And I really it really clicked for me, even though originally I signed up to volunteer for graphic design, but they didn't have any opportunities. And the woman at the time, the coordinator for the encouragement program, she's like, here you go, you can be an encourager. I'm like, oh my gosh. I felt like so like out of my depth. That was the best decision and the best push I've ever had in my life, because I feel like my life has done like a 360 since then. So I started thinking about like, well, how can I combine my passions? And that's when Liluye really was born.
So that is fantastic. You little bit talked about your challenges, but do you want to elaborate on that?
As far as challenges, I would really say the biggest challenge is self-doubt, because from thinking and not getting a lot of encouragement growing up to even cultivate my design and art skills, I was like, am I good enough? The whole, am I good enough thing. And then I'm like, oh, I can't do like the administrative assistant anymore. I was getting paid well, that wasn't the problem. And I knew I could do it well, but I'm just like, it's literally sort of silently killing me because I'm not fulfilling my passion. And I felt like people weren't appreciating me very much in that profession. And so I really, even though I was really, really scared to go back to school because they're not good enough, I'm like, I had to do it from a personal standpoint.
I think a lot of women face this problem. They self-doubt themselves, and I think you can be a shining example for them, I believe. Do you have any advice for them?
Definitely. I would say totally pursue your passion, even if it seems like the world is against you, or because your ego will step in and be like, well, that's not lucrative. Nobody's gonna, you're not good enough. Don't just stay true to your north, stay authentic, stay true to your passion, true to yourself. And just, even if it seems tough, and it probably will at times, just don't give up. Just even if you segue, because it's never like, it's may not be perfect, but you'll like get there eventually. And then you'll be glad that you did, because the best things in life are always the things you work towards, I think.
Very true. Can you talk about your passions? What's your personal style, your work style, your fashion style?
Oh, okay. I would say I've never really been a person that conforms to trends. I've always been sort of a rebel, even in high school. I kind of just beat to my own drum, and I kind of still do that now. And it's part of honoring myself and being authentic to myself. And even though it's felt uncomfortable at times, I've always thought, like, part of me, and I think a lot of people have the tendency to want to conform, but the authentic part of me just is always like, no, don't do it. Just be true to yourself. And like I always wanted to color my hair like they're called fantasy colors here, like bright colors. And I never, in the United States, I couldn't find a hairdresser that would do it. They're like, no, it's gonna grow out all weird. And I'm like, So I just went to the next hairdresser and tried again until I finally found one and I haven't had a problem since, and I haven't looked back. And I need to go now because the lockdown, I haven't been able to go, but this week I'm gonna get recolored.
Hopefully, we are all hoping that. Since you've talked about future plans a little bit about Liluye, but you want to talk more about it?
Sure. I finally created the website and launched the website at the end of March, as well as the Facebook page and LinkedIn page. And yeah, I think I already mentioned the mission is to create that social enterprise, a holistic social enterprise that will help to reintegrate trafficked women globally, to reintegrate back into society by giving them a viable trade and income, but through handmade products. So it would be hopefully shoes. I'm super passionate. That's one of my fetishes, or whatever you want to call it, is like shoes. I totally want to design the shoes and have them sustainably made, so they would be banana leaf fabric, or it's stinging leaf nettle. It's nettle, like some weird stinging nettle fabric. It's a thing. And there's there's one in this thing called Pina Tex that they get from the Philippines. It was literally pineapple fabric, and I really want to use these sustainable fabrics and really cut down on the carbon footprint and have it be completely circular. So that's part of my overarching plan, and I'm hoping to start in Nepal with Sunita, and she has a foundation there, and she was trafficked about 20 years ago, I believe, and she's been doing her work ever since then. So I'm hoping to catch up with her after COVID, the lockdown, and see if we can collaborate and start the first workshop for her 5 women that she has targeted that need a trade in income.
So we will definitely take you up on the mentoring, because I'm sure around the world, a lot of women look for people like you for mentoring. And we are so thankful to you for being here and taking out time to do this interview with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.